All right, so what we're looking at today is, all of today is all about polynomials because this course is all about functions, and part of the functions is that you got to be able to rearrange and move around polynomials. So we're going to start off with adding and subtracting polynomials. So a couple of things at the very beginning, and some of this should be reviewed, but again, I don't know what happened last year. Like terms, because we're going to deal with like terms. Those are terms that have the same variable, so the same letter, but also have the same exponent on it. All right, so those are going to be key like terms. And opposites, well, those are just the opposite sign. Those are another thing that we're going to talk about when we get there. All right, so example number 1, just to kind of go over a few things. All right, we're going to look at add the following polynomials. So the first one here in A, I have 8x squared minus 13x plus 4 plus we have negative 3x squared plus 6x minus 5. All right, now the best part about when you're adding polynomials is that these brackets really don't mean anything. But here's what I am going to do, is I am going to now rewrite this polynomial addition, but I'm going to write it out so that the terms are written in order. And what I mean by order is that I'm going to write the variable with the highest exponent first. So I have an 8x squared here, because the 2 is my highest exponent, but I also have this minus 3x squared. So I'm going to rewrite it right beside it. And then after I'm done with the x squareds, I'm going to continue on and then go with the x's. So now I have a minus 13x, I have a positive 6x, and I have a 4 and a negative 5. So I have a positive 4 and then a minus 5. All right, so the numbers go last. Now, what I need to do now is collect like terms. So again, those are terms I'm going to put together that have the same variable, but they also have to have the same exponent. And so if I put together 8x squared minus 3x squared, I get 5x squared. All right, now, because the x's have a different exponent, I'm going to put the x's together. Minus 13x plus 6x, I believe I'm at positive 7x. And then when you have 4 minus 5, I'm going to have a negative 1. Now, what a lot of people don't like about polynomials is that when you're dealing with polynomials and you're adding or subtracting, multiplying or dividing them, you get a polynomial answer. So right now, I am done. That's it. There's no number here. There is a polynomial answer, and it's 5x squared plus 7x minus 1. Again, because I cannot put any of these terms together. Numbers are different than x's that are different than x squareds. All right, so let's try another one here. I believe I have a B. I do. So we have 4x squared plus 7y minus 3 plus negative x squared plus 9y minus 5 again. All right. So again, I'm going to, because there's addition and we're going to get into subtraction where things change up a little bit, I'm going to write them in order. And so I've got my squareds first. I got x's and y's this time, but I'm going to write my 4x squared here. And then I've got my minus x squared. And I don't have any more x's. So now I'm going to write my y's down. And usually I'll, once you remove the brackets, does the addition sign just, nothing happens. Once I remove the brackets, nothing happens. That's why they're useless. Now, when we get to subtraction here shortly, that's going to change. All right, so I wrote my x squareds down. Now I'm going to write my y's down, plus 7y, plus 9y. All right, then my numbers. So I got a minus 3, and I have a minus 5. And so again, I'm going to collect like terms, things that have the same letter, same variable, and the same exponent. And so I have a 4x squared minus an x squared. There's a secret 1 here. So it's 4x squared minus 1x squared. That is 3x squared. I have a 7y and a 9y together. That's going to be a 16y. And then my numbers, I lose 3, I lose 5. I'm down 8. And again, because these terms are not like terms, that's it. I'm done. It's as far as I can go. Put all my like terms together. All right, one more for this part. C, we have 8y squared minus 2x squared plus 4x. All right, and that's going to be added to, whoops, run out of room here, minus 5y squared plus 6x squared plus 2. All right, now here's a little bit different one that I have two squared terms. So what order am I going to write them in? Probably alphabetical order. So I'll go with the x first, the x's first. All right, so I look for all the x squareds first. So I have a minus 2x squared. I also have a 6x squared. Now I'm going to write my y squareds because, again, I like to go with the exponent the highest first. That's usually the order. So I have an 8y squared. I have a minus 5y squared. And then what else do I got going on here? That's it for the y's. Oh, I have a 4x. So I'm on to the next, going back to the x's with the lowest exponent. And I also have a number, plus 2. All right, so again, I want to collect like terms, so I'm going to put my x squareds together, my y squareds together, and then I got these lonely guys over here. So I'm not going to end up doing anything with them. So I have a minus 2x squared plus 6x squared, 4x squared, 8y squared minus 5y squared. That's a plus 3y squared. And then again, I can't put the 4x and the 2 together, and they don't have anything to go together with, so I'm just going to write them down. So I have a plus 4x plus 2. And again, that's my final answer because I cannot add terms that are not like terms together. All right, so again, that's a little adding of polynomials. Now, mix it up here. So this is where things change. I believe. Look at the second page here. Yeah, subtraction. All right, so subtraction. That's where the brackets do come into play. All right, so I have example 2. All right, so we're going to subtract. So I got A, where I have 2x squared minus 15x plus 4. Subtract negative 3x squared plus 6x minus 8. There we go. All right, now here is the catch with subtraction, is that I'm going to change this subtraction question into an addition question. And here's how it works, is that the brackets after the subtraction question, I'm going to change to the opposite. And I'm going to change this to an addition question. But I'm not going to touch the first polynomial. So the first polynomial I'm going to rewrite here. So I get 2x squared minus 15x plus 4. That is not going to change. Now, like I said, I'm going to change the subtraction question into an addition question. But here's the adjustment. In the polynomial, after the subtraction sign, everything's going to change to be the opposite. And the opposite means flip every sign. So if a sign is positive, flip it to negative. If it's negative, flip it to positive. So this minus 3x squared is now going to become a positive 3x squared. The plus 6x is becoming minus 6x, and the negative 8 is going to become a positive 8. So everything changes signs. And so now all I did was I switched it to an addition question. And so what we just did, well, I'm just going to do again. So again, I'm going to write my terms in order. So I have a 2x squared, because now the brackets don't matter, plus 3x squared, minus the 15x, minus the 6x, positive 4 and a positive 8. All right. And then, again, collecting like terms. So I'm going to put my x squareds together, my x's together, my numbers together. And so I'm going to end up with a 5x squared minus 21x, and then a positive 12. All right, so the only difference with a subtraction question is the start when you switch it to an addition question. So I'm going to do one more of those. All right, so let's go with B. Let's try a different color. All right, so B, I've got 3 polynomials involved. So I have a negative 4x squared plus 6x minus 2x squared plus 4x, and then minus again this other polynomial, which is 3x squared minus 7x. All right, so now when I'm doing this question, again, there is no negative sign in front of this polynomial. The first one, there is no negative sign, so it's going to stay the same. It doesn't change. Now, the second polynomial, there is a negative sign. So again, I'm going to switch it to addition, but I'm going to change that polynomial to be the opposite. So I'm going to have a plus. Instead of negative 2x squared, I'm going to have a positive 2x squared. Instead of a plus 4x, I'm going to have a minus 4x. All right, now my third polynomial, again, there's a minus sign in front. So again, I'm going to switch that to positive, but then that again means moving my polynomial to be the opposite. So instead of 3x squared, I have a minus 3x squared. Instead of a minus 7x, I have a positive 7x. All right, so now that I have changed every sign, every subtraction sign to addition, brackets don't matter. So now I can rewrite everything in the proper order. So I'm going to write my x squareds first, and then my x's next, and I don't have any numbers this time. And so I got a minus 4x squared plus 2x squared minus 3x squared. All right, so that's all the x squareds. Now I have a positive 6x minus a 4x, and then add a 7x. There we go. And then the last step, of course, is to put them all together. So because I have 2 types of terms, I'm going to have 2 parts to my answer. And so if I have a minus 4x squared plus 2x squared, a minus 2x squared minus another 3x squared. So that's going to be a total of minus 5x squared. So there's one part. Then we got 6x minus 4x plus 7x. That would be a 9x. And again, because our terms are not like terms, same variable, but yet different exponents, we cannot put them together. All right, last one. This is a bit of a word question there, if you're reading along with me, where it is about a guy who sells golf carts, which is far from happening today, that's for sure, with the snow. All right, so the last one here says, Chris owns a golf store that sells golf carts. The revenue function, revenue is how much you're bringing in, and the cost, obviously, is how much you're putting out. Equations for Chris companies are shown below. Find the profit function. And again, the profit function, this is something we're going to see, business. Well, your profit, hopefully your profit, is you take your revenue function and you subtract your cost function. In other words, the money in minus the money out is your profit, right? So hopefully you'll always have more money in than you have money out. Otherwise, you're not going to be in business very long. And so our profit function is minus 40x squared plus 2,220x. All right, that's the profit function. And I subtract the cost function, which is 125x. Plus 10,000. Go. And so again, I have that minus sign. So I'm going to change this to an addition. And again, the first polynomial does not change as there is no negative sign in front of it. All right, but this one does have a negative sign in front of it. So there we go. We have a plus, which then, of course, means that I've got to change everything in those brackets to the opposite. So all the signs switch. So these are all both positive. So they're both going to switch to negative. All right. Now that I do have it as a positive signs, the brackets don't mean anything. So I'm going to write in my order here. So I have minus 40x squared. There's no more x squareds, but I do have now the x's. So I have minus or plus 2,200x. Then I have a minus 125x and a minus 10,000. All right, so just wrote them in order, and like terms, it looks like all I got is to put my x's together, and so my profit function is going to be minus 40x squared. Let's see here, subtract those two, so I'm going to have 2,075x minus 10,000. And there is our final profit function. I believe in B it says, what is the profit if you sell 20 golf carts? In function notation, that means P of 20. That means our X value is 20. And so wherever there's an X, I'm going to put a 20. Into my profit function. All right, and let's see here. Do a little math. So 20 squared is 400 times negative 40 is minus 16,000. Let's see here. 2,075 times 20 is, let's see, 41,500. And of course, minus 10,000. That doesn't have an X variable, so that's not going to change. I do a little bit of math. And let's see, minus 16,000 plus 41,500 minus 10,000. Looks like we're in the positive. That's a good thing for a profit. And the final answer is $15,500 if Chris sells 20 golf carts. And there we go.